What's up, everybody? Welcome. Thank you very much. I'm just going to give it about a minute or so for people to kind of join me. Live stream is starting. Starting off every single show and stream with Ellie, of course. Ellie is a 7-month-old toy poodle. She's my trading buddy. She specializes in ABC corrective patterns and only trades those. She was named after Elliott wave theory. All right, welcome everybody. So this is Ellie. She likes to be on camera. Yeah. Okay, anyways, Ellie, get off of my show. All right. Let's start. It's a little bit slow today in terms of people joining me. Not that many people come in for the live streams in the mornings because I've noticed that a lot of people are usually watching these streams in the evening around 6 p.m. So I'm going to start the stream around 6 p.m. as well. Rafael Ludana Nalmaha Kita. I love adobo. I love lumpia sigsig. Merhaba. Günaydın. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll be streaming this afternoon as well around 6 p.m. my time, which is in 8 hours. So let's get this today. So today we're going to talk about Bitcoin's drop. Finally, it's dropping 2%, which is fairly significant. In the past 11 hours since I went to bed last night at around midnight, it's dropped 5.5% so far. And we're getting very close to the golden ratio right now, okay? So that's the first thing we'll talk about, Bitcoin's drop. And then the second thing that we're going to talk about is my public portfolio. That's just bleeding money today. Bleeding quite a bit, but I don't really care. And I'm going to talk about how we could actually project a major return over time and talk about a good investment strategy that could make you a shit ton of money in the long term. Okay, I believe that there's so much money to be made in crypto, and a lot of people that end up getting shaken out, they're the ones that, I'm just going to put my banner back in here because it hides my searches and my URLs, etc. And I think that with a proper dollar cost averaging technique, you can make yourself an incredible amount of money, but you must have diamond hands. You have to know when to sell at certain points, when to buy at certain points, when to take profit at some points as well, okay? So we're going to talk about BTC. And so BTC in the past few days, right? So I'm going to clear all this up. I'm going to make it really nice. Let's start off with the perceived Elliott wave count that we all thought that Bitcoin is. Okay, so to catch everybody up and review from yesterday. This is a possible Elliott wave count right here. It's a possible count because wave 3 is greater than wave 1. And we check that by simply doing fib extension or just drawing a green box and dragging that green box down, right? We see that very clearly. We see that wave 3, I'm going to get out of a log scale. Okay, we see that wave 3 is bigger than wave 1. If we make the box bigger for the size of wave 3, we see that wave 3 and waves 5 almost made an exact same move. This is called a measured move. Okay, guys, all three are the same. Whenever you see 3 pivots like this, as in 1, then 2 up, then 3 down, 4 up, and then 5 down, that's usually an indication that 5 Elliott wave counts are actually in already. Based on the momentum for the day, we were going to the upside, but today is the first day where we really lost momentum and the MACD is starting to show its bearishness. The 2-day, right, we were talking yesterday about the differences in shapes, right? There's 2 different shapes. One is a concave shape where you see it opening like a cave door. This is the top. The other one is a convex shape where it looks like the opposite of a cave door, upside down, okay? So what we're seeing, if you've noticed here, is kind of like a concave shape. If you notice the concave shape, it looks like it's about to circle back around. Okay, that's what we don't want. Or sorry, yeah, that's what we don't want. We want a concave, or sorry, a convex shape where this side, right, where it's going to the upside and continues to go up. That's what we want, but the momentum is slowly starting to fade out right now, okay? Despite getting the 4-day MACD right now, that curve that shows a gigantic hammer candle, we don't really know if this is going to break to the downside or up yet. And in terms of Elliott wave theory, we don't really know how to count this either. This is a really difficult count. Almost impossible to count in my opinion. Okay, but what we do know is that there are resistances here. What we do know is that there's a support here as well. And also what we do know is that there's a range that's in here. Another thing that we do know is that there's a possibility of a bounce. Okay, there's a possibility of a bounce, and the possibility is definitely coming up in one of two places, or none at all if we keep continuing to the downside. So one possible way is you take the fib. The way that you draw fib, the best way is draw it from the left side to the right side. So for example, if the prices are dropping, or sorry, if the prices is going upwards, right, always draw it from the left, which is going to start at the bottom of the price, to the right, which is at the top. Okay, always remember that. If the prices is dropping, okay, it's the same thing. Draw it from left to right. So if it started from the left side at the top, draw it to the right side. That's the best way to draw fib. In terms of drawing it from wick to wick or body to body, in my opinion, the best way to draw it is wick to wick because you're accounting for the full range. I don't recommend drawing it body to body because it's more inconsistent to me. So if you were to draw your fib from the bottom here to the top over here, what you're going to get is a possible golden ratio bounce. The golden ratio is a very, very powerful number. Let me give you guys a really good example of a golden ratio bounce on Bitcoin that just was not shocking in any way, but it was just such a good bounce in general. So let's just go back in time. For example, here is a golden ratio bounce from exactly up there to down here. We literally just grazed the golden ratio, and then we ended up dropping another 70%. Another really good example is right here. I remember a lot of these golden ratio bounces from here to right there, okay, right around this region, and then after we hit it, Bitcoin rallied 65%. Of course, it fell right after, but aside from the point, right, aside from that, it ended up rallying massively as well. This one here also ended up hitting a golden ratio. This specific zone right there, it goes upwards, comes down, bounces at the golden ratio at $10,000, and then it just never came back down for a long time. So these are just some really good examples of golden ratio bounces that must be respected. Is it guaranteed to bounce there? No, it's not guaranteed, but it's more likely in the future. For example, if you take 100 trades at a golden ratio bounce, from what I recorded for myself, over 300 trades over 7 years, when I used to record them way back, was I found that they bounce way more than 50 to 60% of the time, right? Actually, it was closer to around 65%. If I took only golden ratio trades over time with the same RR, etc., you're more likely to win than not. That's my opinion. But of course, this golden ratio bounce is not guaranteed in any way. So that's the one scenario where we possibly get a bounce here, or maybe a 786. And another scenario is that we don't hold at any of these regions at all. We go back down over here, okay? So we go back all the way down to the wave 5 territory, and then what ends up happening is we get a huge bounce there, okay? So if it bounced again, we could possibly get a retracement of the overall structure. So let's say we ended up coming to the downside, and then we bounced. You never know what can happen. Just to play out some scenarios, right? We can have a descending triangle where the price ends up hitting there and then conforming for a long time before it drops down. That's one scenario. Another scenario is we bounce hard and then we form an ascending triangle. Okay? So then we start to form an ascending triangle. We hit it, goes up, of course, keeps going. Another scenario is, of course, we end up getting a symmetric type of triangle, right? Something like that, if it hits it or not. So right now, I think that Bitcoin's going to be in a very slow period of consolidation, figuring out some playable pattern. Then eventually it's going to make a move. I don't see Bitcoin making a major move anytime soon. Let me give you a period of consolidation for BTC back in the days after it made a gigantic rally, okay? So just Bitfinex is what I'm used to because it goes really far back. So just to give you an example, this period here, okay, started from June 18 in 2018. for 100 until November. So this period of consolidation was about 150 days. So however months that is, that's 5 months of consolidation, right? Where it barely ranged. It got up to 47%, but then it just did nothing and went sideways until it finally broke that trend line where people entered massive shorts. Another period of consolidation that was really long is this guy over here. This one barely ranged, and that lasted for 120 days, where it only ranged 36% or so, but in a very, very tight range, right? So these consolidations after major bull runs, they can last anywhere between 5 months to 8 months. And if we even do get a bigger drop than we're seeing already, dollar cost averaging is your best friend. We've got to remember the reasons why Bitcoin was created, right? 2008, the American economy went into a massive recession and the economy collapsed because of so many factors. We've all seen the movies, we've all seen the documentaries, right? The American economy and the banks, the central banks were basically the epitome of evil, right? They ended up packaging different debts that were seemed as good debts, but they were actually horribly rated, and investors ended up buying this debt anyways, but they were bad debt, and they were packaging them up so much that eventually they went to nothing, right? And when people started selling, there's nothing left to buy really. So the American economy, they're not the government, they're not trusted. Money is, they can inflate money, they can print an unlimited supply, they can hide their budgets, we don't know where spending is, you're not in control of your money. So that's just to summarize Bitcoin of why it was created. It was created to be decentralized so we can be in control of our own money, so it's transparent, it can be visibly seen, right? It combats inflation, it's a store of value, it's a middle finger to the government. And it caught on for a specific reason, right? When you think about currency in general, like Bitcoin, compared to the money on your debit card, on your bank card, where you're going there to make a digital payment, right? It's not that different than Bitcoin making a digital payment, right? Some people, they don't really see past that. 15% of the world is already adopting Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and you're using it in general already, right? You don't want to be one of those 85% of the people that are not into it yet. You have to be an early adopter. You have to see the very long-term value of crypto. I've been in the game for about 7 years now. I've been an investor of Ethereum since pretty much like I was mining it in late 2015, early 2016. I mined 200 Ethereum total in my life. Then I bought another 200 Ethereum. And this is like when Ethereum was between like maybe 50 cents. I remember when Ethereum got to $1 one day. I was pretty damn excited because I was getting a lot of Ethereum. I was getting maybe like 10 a day when it first came out. And then, of course, I wrote that huge how to mine guide that got 1 million views in early 2016. I adopted it long term. And now look at where we are, where Ethereum was reaching up to $3,000-$4,000. And it's just like any other crypto that you strongly believe in. You've got to do the research. And once you do the research, if you believe in this coin, if you believe it can solve real life problems, it's got good value, it's got a great project, the white paper looks good, right? It's the team itself, the developers are active in the community, it's constantly growing, it's good publicity, right? It's very safe as well. If you truly believe in any coin, it's up to you to decide on what you want to invest in, okay? So right now, in my opinion, Bitcoin is a great price to even start dollar cost averaging. If you look at the weekly trends, right? If you look on the amount of people holding one Bitcoin right now, it's actually reached an all-time high. If you look at some of the really big wallets, the top 100, top 200 wallets, they've been buying since like $30,000, and they're just dollar cost averaging. If you look at Michael Saylor, who's managing a few $1 billion of crypto right now, where his average price is over $30,000 and he's down about $1.8 billion. Just yesterday, he announced that he bought another $10 million of Bitcoin, right? So these big wallets are definitely starting to accumulate. If you look at the weekly RSI as well, it's at the all-time low since 2012. So there's a lot of factors that's indicating that we're oversold and that big investors are actually buying this dip. But nobody can convince you to buy it. This is not a financial advice type of video that's telling you, hey, you should be buying Bitcoin right now, right? Because if you buy Bitcoin or any other coins, if you dollar cost average, you have to be prepared for this volatility that's going to come. You could be down 20%. You could be down 50%. And a lot of people, they look at their portfolio, they're like, holy crap, this might go to zero. And then the panic kicks in. And then guys like me will come in and buy like $500,000, $1 million of crypto, and then just hold it. Because when you see a low, when you see extreme fear in the market right now, let's just check the fear and greed index Bitcoin. Here we go. So the fear and greed index right now is probably back down. So it's back down to 11 right now. 11 last week as well. The week before that, it was at 6. That was the lowest that I've ever seen it, okay? So in my opinion, the lowest price that we can see, right, if we were looking at volume, okay? Let's just go to volume. I don't have the side volume profile, whatever it's called, but I've seen a lot of charts that have represented it already. If we take a look at volume, right, we can see a concentration around here. The major concentration of volume is between $14,000 to $12,000. That is where the major volume price points have always been, right? Around here, okay? So if we were to actually drop, right, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? That volume profile that tells you the price. What is it called? If you guys know, let me know. I could maybe load it up quickly for you. But right there between 12,000 to 14,000 is where the major volume has been. So I believe that we have some extremely strong support in these regions. This one here, like if you look over here, if I zoom in, right here where Bitcoin bounced on February the 6th, it bounced 100%, okay, in a few days, actually, in like 2 weeks. So we got some major support regions around here, and around here as well. So I don't believe that we're going to see lower than 12,000 unless there's major fundamental news. That's it, the VPRP. So right there, I don't think we're going to get lower than 12K. So because of that, I'm going to give you guys a really good example of dollar cost averaging and how I personally plan to play this, okay? So in my main portfolio, I carry about 92 Bitcoins, and I carry a lot of Ethereum as well. I carry 335 Ethereum, so I'm carrying quite a significant amount of crypto right now, but most of them are like not even with me. Some of them are in my cold wallet, some are in Canada, so I'm managing a pretty big portfolio. And in the public one, it's going to be managed in a very similar manner, but the coins that I choose are going to be much lower in terms of quantity wise, and I'm not going to diversify nearly as much. I'm going to focus on about 8 to 9 coins that I focus on with you guys here. So let me just give you a really good example of whether Bitcoin drops here or not. For day trading right now, I don't think there's a good opportunity to day trade. Everything just looks really bearish. There's nothing that's going to bullishly diverge right now because Bitcoin doesn't show any type of bullish divergence at all either. Whenever we get a big dip like this, it makes day trading extremely difficult. You're not going to be able to catch a dip, and if you do, it's going to be 1, risky, and 2, probably just pure luck if you ended up catching it. So on days like this, I more so observe and I wait for a bounce to happen, a major bounce after a major dip, okay? So if you get a major dip, I want a major bounce, let it dip again, and then I will buy the breakout. That's always been my strategy. If that is not my strategy, then what I'll do is I'll wait for a 55. Let's say the price is going like that, okay? It's going steady. I'm going to wait for a beautiful trend line to form, okay? A trend line that's pretty much hitting all the points. And then I'm going to wait for a moving average. Like whatever like a moving average that's coinciding with this resistance, okay? So the trend line must be formed. A steady and slow drop must be formed, right? And also a 50 or 55 moving average must be coinciding with that trend line and the price moving to the downside. And then my favorite strategy is basically buying on the break. I'll be very patient. Sometimes I'll go 3-4 days without a break happening. And then, for example, the longer this forms, okay, if it's forming over 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, the longer that trend line ends up forming and the resistances show, the greater of a break will happen once it does break. So it's just a matter of timing it, okay? Timing it with some EMAs, timing it with some MACD crossovers as well. So now let's just say that Bitcoin, and so there's nothing, once again, just to summarize on Bitcoin, there's no opportunity right now. Maybe we'll get a bounce at the golden ratio, but that's still a really big maybe coming up around above 19,200 ranges. So let's just say that Bitcoin ended up falling even lower. So here's just as an example in the public portfolio here for you guys. So right now I've acquired about $44,733 of crypto, and they're spread between 46% of it is Bitcoin, 11% Polygon or Matic, 5% Ethereum, 5% Cardano, 5% DOT, about 7% Solana. I'm a big fan of their phone. That's why I have more of Sol. Avalanche, I believe that that chain's gonna grow eventually anyways. Okay. And I also like XRP just because of how they're combating the SWIFT system, despite their legal cases that's ongoing right now. Right, they're being investigated again. I still believe that they have some major impact in the world where transferring money it's really cheap, it's really fast. They're probably gonna phase out SWIFT one day. And this is my pretty much crypto night. Step app. Step app, please sign up below. Use my referral if you're curious about it. It's a move to earn platform, right? Where you get a shoe, you walk, you make money. The only reason I like these ones is because if you get in early enough, you could make money from it before it ends up going to absolutely nothing, just like Step N. So that's why I'm into this. And it's also a good incentivization to walk my dog more, get out of the house. And the way that my fiance puts it is, hey, if you're making $100 just for walking your dog, right, after the ROI, of course, then that's a free $100 that's paying for our day-to-day. So that's how I see it as well. The public portfolio originally started with $44,733. When Bitcoin was $21,500, the P&L for here was about $3,500 with an ROI of about 8.9%. Since then, we went from about, say, plus $4,000 or plus $3,500 to minus $3,000. So we've actually lost $6,000 in this portfolio already. Now, a lot of you might be thinking to myself, why didn't I sell at those price points, right? Well, first of all, I didn't know if a bounce was coming or not, or how big of a drop. And secondly, I'm going for the long-term P&L for the all-time high. So Bitcoin's down 1,400 right now. You guys don't even want to know how much I'm down on my other one right now from the all-time high. So Polygon's down 900. Ethereum, they're all down, as you can see, right? That's okay. That's really all right. So just to give you an idea, if I were to see Bitcoin dropping to, say, $15,000, it's a really good psychological number, right? I'm going to go to this one, though, actually. Okay, so let's just say it went to $15,000, right? So now, if I were to buy two more, right, I would have 3 Ethereum or 3 Bitcoin right here. And now you're seeing me with an average price of 16,957. So actually, let's start off with just reaching the all-time high first. If Bitcoin recovered to the all-time high, this column right here are all of the all-time highs for each coin. If these coins all recovered to the all-time high, is that possible? Yeah, it's definitely possible, okay, for these coins to get to all-time high again. If Bitcoin gets to all-time high, it's most likely going to rally every single coin. Dogecoin, I don't want to hold Doge because it has an unlimited supply. It's not a good coin for holding, in my opinion, and inflation is really strong. It's also heavily manipulated. Not only that, it's unpredictable, right? Depends on lots of tweets like Elon Musk. Not only that, it actually has absolutely zero use. So I don't want to invest in a coin where I don't believe in it fundamentally, where I've seen much manipulation on it before by guys like Elon Musk, where I've seen unexplainable rallies and there's no fundamental news driving it because the coin's just a meme coin. And because of that, and despite the community support for it, I just can't personally, as a serious investor, even look at Dogecoin, right? It's not something that I can personally believe in, right? I gotta hide this person, I apologize. I don't know why people even come into the channel to do things like that. I'm not really sure what the pi cycle bottom is. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I don't know everything about all indicators, to be quite honest. I just stick to kind of what I know, and I specialize specifically in what I know. So the ATH for these coins, if they were to reach it based on just the amount that I have now, okay, my P&L would be, this is after factoring the acquisition cost. My P&L would be $220,000. And then the P&L would be 393.7%. So let's just say Bitcoin gets regulated next year, which I'm really banking on that fact, okay? You know, like it's already July tomorrow, right? In August, I'm going to Rome for about a week. September, if you think about your schedules, right? Like September, I've got my friends coming here for a week from Canada to visit. Then October, my parents are coming here for a week. Then Uraz and I and my family, we're going to France together to go visit my uncle, right? And then before you know it, it's November and December, which is the Christmas season. 6 months is going to fly by for you guys too. I'm sure that you're very busy. You've got a lot of things coming up, right? I know that September is a busy month for everyone. Christmas and holiday seasons coming up, regardless of what religion you are, right? And then, but before you know it, guys, it's going to be 2023. Like, trust me, we're already done half of the year. You can probably remember what you did just a few months ago at the beginning of the year, okay? It's going to be ridiculous how fast time will go. And before you know it, the bull market's going to happen again. So it's in your best interest to just calm down. Don't even look at your holdings sometimes, and just relax and just believe in the bull market to come. Let's just say it went down to $15,000, okay, and it went down to another $12,000. And now I bought 5 Bitcoins total. My average price is now 14974 with 5 Bitcoins, okay? And I didn't even bother factoring in the rest yet either. But obviously I'll be buying a lot of these other coins of mine. If Bitcoin were to drop to 12,000 and then it reached the all-time high again, okay? This is now the new P&L. The P&L would now be 400. I've now spent $98,000, 100K on basically 5 Bitcoins and keeping the rest the way they are, right? And then my ROI is now 404% with a profit of $500,000. I mean, do you really care if Bitcoin goes to 12K if you buy it when it keeps going down and then we reach an all-time high? Probably not too much, right? So if I were to actually average down, I don't have time with you guys to show you the live example, but if I were to average down, for example, you know, to average pricing here to like, let's just say like 0.3, 0.275 or something, right? And I ended up buying about, I don't know, like 100,000 coins where Matic really went low again, which is 0.31 is where my original entry was, or 39. So 275 is not that far off. It's only about 40% down from if Bitcoin were to drop lower. So then I'd have $27,000 of Polygon, and if Polygon ended up reaching the all-time high of 293, my $27,000 investment will literally have turned to $292,000, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it, right? I mean, so ridiculous if you think about it like that. It's so unreal that literally it can go from 27K to 300K. And that's not even the beginning of it. If you were to ladder down the big ones that have a potential huge ROI, like Cardano has a really big potential, right, for ROI, considering this is the price now, this is the ATH, right? We're like really far down. We can 8x Cardano, right? We can 8x Polkadot. We can like 8x Solana. We can 8x Avalanche, XRP, we can 10x, right? So if you think of these factors just long term and you do the research on them as well, it's really possible for you to literally make $1 million from like a $50,000 to $100,000 investment in crypto in the next few years. Even if you were to put in $5,000 to $10,000, you have a chance to turn that $5,000 to $10,000 to like between $50,000 to $100,000, which is much better than any blue chip stock that you can put like your money into right now. This is not financial advice, keep in mind. I'm just explaining to you guys based off of metrics and based off of all-time highs and just looking at your portfolio to see what could possibly happen if we end up reaching an all-time high again for Bitcoin, right? This document is already shared. If you're looking for this document, just go to the description below and you'll see it in the public portfolio. Nope, I'm gonna just take a look at some questions that you guys might have now. Thank you for joining me, by the way, I appreciate it. So on the monthly, it looks shitty. It looks absolutely horrendous. I mean, this is not the type of candles you want for the month, right? But that's what people said about this candle, right? Like, so I don't think the monthly candle is any indication of what could happen. Like, just as an example, look at this candle. You would have thought that after this huge bullish candle that we would be bullish the next month, right? But we weren't. So this is two different opposites. Big bearish candle followed by 2 months of support candles bouncing upwards. Big bullish candle followed by rejection the next month. So despite the monthly candle looking really bad, based off of history, we've seen that it can go really any other way. So I wouldn't really use the weekly as a big gauge. So, or sorry, the monthly. The weekly though, right? So we still, like yesterday, we finished off fairly bullish, but the volume really lacked. And people thought we were going to get a rally, but we couldn't even break above certain highs. Like, despite our great rally, you know, of 25%, the week's not over yet. The month is not, or sorry, like, it's not over yet, the possibility of a breakout, okay? Because in order for us to be bearish, we've got to take out this low over here. So you've just got to be really patient. In fact, if this low ends up getting taken out, I'm just going to, honestly, I'm not even going to be upset. I'm looking forward to a lower low. My portfolios, both of them, the public and private one, they both say that, hey, you might not make money right now, and the market may not go up right now, but if it does, I'm in a position. Phil, you're in a position, a great position, because everything is oversold. If the market does go up, you positioned yourself very well and you made the right choice. And then I tell myself as well that if the market goes down, despite you positioning yourself well, you have an opportunity to dollar cost average even more and get a better price and accumulate more crypto and have the potential to make even more money. The only way that I'm going to go broke in crypto is if Bitcoin goes to zero. And I don't think Bitcoin's going to zero. Anybody who thinks that Bitcoin's going to zero, they really need to get their facts checked, or they're fudders that are trying to drive down prices like how big central banks did in 2017, right? They literally tried to drive down prices just so they can accumulate more. Ridiculous. By the way, I fixed my camera. I can move my desk now. It's not shaking anymore. Made a few holes in the house. Phil, look at yearly. No, I'm not going to look at yearly candles, man. No one trades Bitcoin on yearly candles. Come on. Don't even waste your time indulging in a 6-month candle or a yearly candle. Like sure. Like, you know, like there's no point because it's not going to give you that great of a clue. Like short term, there's no point, but I'll indulge you anyways. Like, it's probably looking pretty good every single year, I'm guessing. Where's Binance? Or Bitfinex? Let's go. Do they even have a 1-year candle? No, they don't. They have a 12-month candle, maybe. Yeah, they have a 12-month candle. There you go. So, you don't see anything. Like, it doesn't show much. It just shows up. It rallied last year and it dropped. Don't look at yearly candles, guys. It's not a good metric, in my opinion. Just, it's not worth it. You know, like, it doesn't show anything at all. Any comments on sushi? I don't really know a lot about sushi. Right? I haven't done... Let's all do a technical analysis on yearly candles now. I'm just joking. I don't really know a lot about sushi, to be honest. Where is it even on CoinMarketCap? It's really low. That's probably why I'm not doing any research on it. The market cap is just way too low for me. Like, I don't want to invest in a coin that has a $55 million trading volume and a $125 million market cap. You know, they're not sure type of coins that have established themselves with a good reputation. You can make the decision yourselves kind of what you want to do. There's 3 stages, in my opinion, right? The first way is to invest in top 50 coins that have been very well established, good team of developers, and they got to that top 50 because of hard work, establishing themselves, good reputation, good framework, right? Good progression, good team, good developers, good news probably, right? They're achieving something that's impacting the crypto world or the world in general. So you can invest in the top 50. And the other way is to invest somewhere in the middle, right? Where they're still upcoming, they're still trying to establish themselves. They haven't really done too much yet, but they're fighting and clawing their way to develop something that could impact the world. And then there's the other way as well, right? Which is spending a lot of your time reading white papers, looking at these potential shitcoins that have done nothing yet, but they've got a good light or white paper. They're trying to establish themselves. They're trying to have an ICO, an initial coin offering. They're trying to get investors on board so they can develop their team. You don't really know a lot of the people behind the team, or maybe the team has some really good members, right? Some reputable people you got to Google every single person. If you're investing in something huge, Google the team. See if they have a history, right? So that's another way as well. But that way you're spending a lot of time investing based off of fundamentals, right? So I like to talk about the top coins because they've already established themselves, okay? So ICP, man, didn't that coin get delisted like in a lot of places already? Like isn't it? It's going to like I don't care about ICP, to be quite honest. Like if you're seeing a coin this big of a drop, like damn, with like doing nothing, I don't know, man. Right? Like it's probably gonna have some major rally soon. The only way it won't have a rally is if the coin is fundamentally just screwed up and the project is being talked about being abandoned, right? So right now, but the MACD is not really that low. The 4 days about to cross, so yeah, it can do something pretty big. But let's just see here what this is even. It's not even on Binance anymore. It got removed on Binance. So who cares about ICP, guys? Fuck ICP. I'm serious. Don't focus on these shit coins, guys. I really mean it. Like I'm talking about coins like Luna, for example, Classic. Right now, the majority of the trades is done by one guy or one company that holds 45% of Lunas. You guys are gonna get dumped on trading coins like Luna. Like you got to remember, just if you were burned by any situation in your life before, you should probably be cautious about it. And I'm not just talking about crypto. I'm talking about friends, relationships, cars, anything that might have negatively impacted you. Don't give it a second chance. Once burned, twice shy. Despite you seeing 800% returns on Luna Classic right now, that should not negate the fact that Luna Classic went from $106 to literally zero in less than 4 days. You have to remember all the negative things with Luna and the project. So being a fan person, fanboy, fangirl for Luna, it's not a good thing in my opinion because there's still massive risk of being dumped on. My thoughts on XRP is great. I just like the project in general. I've always liked them ever since like Swift conference in 2018, right? Swift is the international money bank transfer system for the major banks. There's like 200 and something major banks that are part of it. So Swift was having a conference in Toronto. So you know what XRP decided to do? They decided to have an XRP conference as well in Toronto, 4 blocks away. So I thought that was really ballsy, right? They're basically saying directly to Swift that, hey, we're a major competitor and we're here. Here we are right next to your conference. So ever since then, I've always loved the way they've been tackling money transfer systems, and they cost nothing, right? Long term, I see that project surviving and holding strong, right? But for now, they're under a lot of scrutiny, right? They're being investigated yet again. So I hold a lot of that. I hold probably $50,000 of XRP for long term. I don't remember. It could be between 40 to 60, maybe even more than that. I don't know. I don't remember, at least on the top of my head, but it's a good project in my opinion. Many coins, you're right, Anak Disco, they won't survive the bear market, but the coins that are in the top 20 are way more likely to survive than not survive. If you look at upcoming coins, how many ICOs are released every day? One day that's going to be regulated. How many coins come into the open market every day where they're trying to get on exchanges, they're trying to do something for themselves, right? Maybe it's a scam. You don't know. You don't know what the developers and the CEOs thinking or trying to do with this project. But those kind of coins, they're not likely to survive as much, right? So that's why it's better, in my opinion, to invest in the big top coins. Not financial advice, but the big coins like Ethereum, Matic, Polygon, right? Sol, AVAX, they're more likely to survive, like BNB, than the other coins that are going through hard times, okay? No, I don't DCA Atom, not at all. So Link is a good project long term. Like, I'm liking their chart. I hold not a lot of Link, like 10k maybe, like not even. Like, I just like their chart. I just love it how, like, you know, all-time highs, I think of it from that perspective, is like 700%. Weekly is getting really low as well. It looks like it's possibly going to cross over. Even if we drop like a little bit more, Link has got some major potential long term. I think a lot of coins do. Like VeChain is a great one as well, right? I'm a big fan of Cardano right now because their Vasil network is getting some promising updates. They're going into their testnet right now, or in a few days they're going. So that's why Cardano didn't rally as much as other coins did, right? If you take a look at Cardano, it kind of did nothing, right? Since the 18th, it did nothing at all. But other coins rallied a lot more. It's because of that Vasil delay, right? So once that gets up and coming, it's going to end up rallying probably a huge amount. Kind of like how Matic's announcements ended up rallying it 100%, right? So anyways, I think I'm going to leave it here. It's been a very long video already. I didn't plan for 42 minutes, but I usually end up talking a lot. Some really good questions today, guys. I really appreciate you coming to join me, so thank you very much. And I'll try my best to live stream this evening as well. So thank you very much. I hope that you've learned tons. Please make sure you're liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hit that notification button to catch me every single day around the same time for a live stream. Have a great day.